Hello and welcome to Fact Fragment, the show that brings you surprising facts and intriguing insights. I'm your AI host, chosen for this role because of my ability to, deliver information clearly and concisely and hopefully in a way that keeps you engaged. And today we're diving into the world of meditation apps. They're everywhere, but are they just hype? Or there real science backing them up? We're going to explore the research so you can decide for yourself if dedicating even 10 minutes a day to your mental well-being is actually worth it.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see just how many people are embracing these apps. Searches for yoga and meditation apps have jumped like a huge 65% year over year.
Wow.
So that really tells us there's a real cultural shift happening here, with people, especially those between, say, 20 and 45 looking for ways to manage their mental well-being.
It does feel like there's been this sudden realization that taking a few moments to just chill out and look inward is maybe the key to dealing with all the stress of modern life.
Absolutely. And, one of the main drivers behind this trend is the desire to manage stress. The world is moving faster and faster, and people are turning to meditation as a way to cope with the anxiety that comes with it. What's really interesting is that the science is showing that meditation isn't just a feel-good relaxation technique.
Right.
It can actually have a real impact on your brain.
Yeah, that's where it gets really interesting, right? It's not just about feeling relaxed in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
but about creating lasting changes in how our brains actually work.
Exactly. Studies show that meditation can actually change the physical structure of your brain.
Really?
Yeah, you can see measurable increases in gray matter in areas like the prefrontal cortex, that's the part of your brain that helps with decision-making and emotional regulation, and also the anterior cingulate cortex, which plays a role in focus and, managing emotions.
So basically, if you're struggling to stay on top of your to-do list or feeling overwhelmed, those are the parts of your brain that could really benefit from some meditation.
Yeah, exactly. And the benefits go beyond just dealing with stress. Research has shown that, for some people, regular meditation can be just as effective as medication for managing anxiety.
Is that right?
Yeah. In fact, one study showed it to be as effective as Lexapro,
Wow.
which is a commonly prescribed anti-anxiety drug.
That's pretty incredible. So we know meditation can impact our brains, our mental health.
Yeah.
But what about these apps? Are they actually effective, or are they just cashing in on a trend?
Well, the numbers are pretty compelling. Apps like Calm and Headspace have been downloaded over 200 million times globally.
Wow.
So clearly, this isn't just a small group of people experimenting, it's a massive movement.
It's almost like the whole world is saying together. But are people actually using these apps and seeing results?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they just, getting lost in the sea of apps on their phones?
Well, the evidence suggests that people are finding real value in these apps. For instance, Headspace collaborated with the UK's National Health Service on a study, and they found that participants who completed just 10 sessions experienced a 16% reduction in symptoms of depression.
That's a significant improvement from a relatively short commitment. It seems like even just a little bit of mindfulness can have a real impact.
Absolutely, and the fact that people are willing to spend money on these apps kind of reinforces that idea. In 2019 alone, the top meditation apps brought in a staggering, get this, $195 million.
Really?
Yeah, people are putting their money where their mindfulness is.
So it's safe to say this isn't just a passing fad. People are investing in their mental well-being through these apps. But there are so many options out there, it can be overwhelming to know where to start. What are some key things our listeners should consider if they're thinking about adding a meditation app to their routine?
Well, one of the most important things is consistency. You don't need to spend hours meditating to see benefits. Even just 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a noticeable difference.
It's like brushing your teeth for your brain. A little bit of daily maintenance can go a long way.
Exactly, and that's something that researchers have actually studied. They found that even short meditation sessions, as little as 5 to 10 minutes, can influence how much people are willing to pay for an app subscription.
Interesting.
So this tells us that people find value in even those small doses of mindfulness. So you don't need to become a meditation master overnight. Start small, find an app that you like, and try to make it a regular part of your day. You might be surprised by the positive impact it can have.
This has been a really insightful look at the world of meditation apps. Clearly, they're more than just a trend. They're offering a potentially transformative tool for improving our mental well-being, and the research really seems to support that. Before we move on, I want to remind you to like and subscribe to Fact Fragment. We'll be back soon with more surprising facts and intriguing insights.
Welcome back to Fact Fragment, where we're continuing our Deep dive into the world of meditation apps. We've seen the potential benefits and the, explosion in popularity, but like anything that's gaining a lot of attention, it's important to kind of look beyond the hype and consider all sides of the story.
Right. It's like anything else. There's always more to this story. What are some of the potential downsides or challenges associated with these apps that we should be aware of?
Well, one thing to think about is the potential for like overuse or dependence. While meditation itself can be very beneficial, it's important to, maintain balance in our lives. We don't want to use it as a way to avoid dealing with challenges in the real world.
That makes sense. Moderation is key, just like with anything else. You wouldn't want to spend all day meditating and neglect your responsibilities, just like you wouldn't want to spend all day binge watching TV.
Exactly. Another potential concern is the variability in quality and effectiveness across different apps. With thousands of options available, it can be hard to know which ones are actually like good.
Right.
Not all apps are created equal, and some might be more effective than others depending on your individual needs and goals.
So it's kind of like choosing a therapist. You want to find one that's a good fit for you, someone who understands your needs and can guide you on your journey.
That's a great analogy. It's important to do your research, read reviews, maybe even try out a few different apps before, committing to one. See what works best for you.
Speaking of finding the right app, how can our listener navigate this, crowded marketplace? What are some things to consider when choosing an app that aligns with your goals and preferences?
Well, I'd say think about the type of content and features an app offers. Does it have guided meditations, nature sounds, sleep stories, personalized recommendations, progress tracking? Figure out what features would actually be helpful for you and what would help you reach, your mindfulness goals.
It's like putting together your own personal mindfulness toolkit. You want to choose the tools that are going to equip you for whatever challenges you're facing.
Exactly. And the app's interface and overall user experience are also important. Is it easy to navigate and use? Does the design feel calming and inviting? Remember, the goal here is to reduce stress and find a sense of peace, not, create more frustration with a clunky app.
Yeah. Who needs a meditation app that's more stressful than the stress you're trying to escape from? So we've talked about the good and the bad. Where do these apps fit in the bigger picture of mindfulness and mental well-being? Are they a replacement for, say, more traditional approaches to mindfulness, or can they work together?
That's a good question. It's important to remember that apps are just one tool in the mindfulness toolbox. They can be a great starting point for beginners or a convenient way to incorporate mindfulness into, a busy schedule.
Right. It's like having a meditation teacher in your pocket, available whenever you need them.
Right, but they're not a one-size-fits-all solution. Some people might find that in-person classes or working with a qualified meditation teacher is more beneficial.
So it's about finding what works best for you, what resonates with your needs and preferences.
Exactly, and it's important to remember that mindfulness is a journey, not a destination. It's a continuous practice of cultivating awareness, compassion, and presence in our lives. Apps can be valuable companions on that journey, but they're not a, quick fix or a magic solution.
It's like learning a musical instrument. It takes time, effort, and dedication to develop the skill, but with consistent practice, you can create something beautiful, or in this case, find a sense of peace and well-being.
That's a great way to put it. And as we continue exploring the world of meditation apps, it's crucial to keep that broader perspective in mind. These apps can be powerful tools, but they shouldn't overshadow the, deeper work of self-discovery and personal growth.
Welcome back to Fact Fragment. We've explored, some of the potential benefits and challenges of meditation apps. But now let's shift our focus to kind of the business side of things. This whole mindfulness movement has become like a big business. What's the, financial outlook for this market? Is it sustainable, or are we in a mindfulness bubble that's about to burst?
Well, the projections actually look quite promising. The meditation app market is expected to reach a staggering, get this, $7.08 billion in revenue by 2028.
That's a huge jump from the, what was it, 195 million spent in 2019?
Yeah, it really is.
So those numbers are impressive. It seems like the mindfulness trend is showing no signs of slowing down.
Yeah.
What's fueling this continued growth? Is it just, increased awareness, or are there other factors at play?
I think accessibility is a big factor. Smartphones are everywhere these days, making it easier than ever to download and use these apps. You can literally meditate anywhere, anytime.
It's like having a personal mindfulness coach available 24/7.
Exactly. Another key driver is the increasing integration of meditation into different areas of our lives. We're seeing, mindfulness programs being adopted by companies, schools, even the military.
So it's not just for like yogis and spiritual seekers anymore. It's gone mainstream with people recognizing its potential to, improve focus, reduce stress, and just generally enhance well-being.
That's right. And this growing acceptance is driving innovation in the industry. We're seeing new features all the time, things like personalized recommendations, progress tracking, even elements of gamification to kind of keep users engaged.
It's like the app developers are constantly finding new ways to make mindfulness more appealing and accessible.
Yeah, and this constant evolution will likely continue to, fuel market growth. As technology advances and we learn more about the brain, I think we'll see even more sophisticated and effective meditation apps emerging.
It sounds like the future of meditation apps is bright, both for users who want to improve their well-being and for the businesses that are tapping into this, growing market. As we wrap up our deep dive, I think it's important to kind of step back and look at the bigger picture. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, what I find most interesting is how this trend reflects a kind of deeper shift in society. In a world that's increasingly dominated by technology and focused on, external achievements, people are starting to recognize the importance of inner peace and mental well-being.
It's like we're finally realizing that true happiness and fulfillment come from within, not from material possessions or accomplishments.
Exactly. And this shift towards prioritizing mental well-being has the potential to change not just our individual lives, but society as a whole. Imagine a world where people are more mindful, more compassionate, more resilient.
That sounds like a like pretty amazing world to me. And maybe, just maybe, meditation apps can help us create that world one mindful breath at a time.
That's a great thought to leave our listeners with. As we conclude this episode of Fact Fragment, I encourage you to consider the role of mindfulness in your own life and how technology might support your journey towards greater well-being.
And before we go, don't forget to like and subscribe to Fact Fragment for more deep dives into fascinating topics. Until next time, be well, stay curious, and take care.